Good morning and huge welcome to you again to Gluten Free Angela Web TV. I think we're on episode 3 now, which is quite amazing. So anyway, lovely to see you, and just relax, sit back, grab a cuppa of your choice, and I'll be going through some gluten-free items. I've got taste tests today, I've baked something today, and I'm going to be recommending what I actually buy and what I do in my kitchen. So hopefully you'll pick up some tips, and I am going to be baking something as well, but we've already done and I've actually baked a cake this morning with a different flour. So what will the results be? Who knows? But I'd like to say a huge good morning and hello, good morning to you watching live, and of course on the replay, hello as well. You're going to be hearing from my amazing co-presenter Robert as well. So good morning, Robert.
Good, thank you, Angela. How are you?
Really good, thank you. So it is Saturday morning here, and well, what have I been doing? So I mentioned on last week's show that there was this flour that I'd bought, and it's a wholemeal cassava. Now it does say on here it's great for chicken dippers, for creating chicken dippers, but it also says that you can replace normal gluten-free flour with this gluten-free flour in cakes, etc. So I've actually used this this morning in the taste test, but I really do like certain, shall we say, normal self-raising flours in the cakes. And when you see the cake, you might not like what you see. So it's under there. It was cooked earlier, and I am going to tell you now, I left it in too long. All right. So we all slightly burn a cake as well, but they're totally recoverable. And I'm going to be showing you how, if you've only got 2 eggs in the house, a limited amount of butter or marge, and hardly any flour, 4 ounces of flour, you can make a cake, a 2-tier cake. So I'll be decorating that. So without further ado, hello there, lovely to see you. If you're in the chat box, what Robert's going to do is he's going to read the chat out to me, and any questions that you have about products or about gluten-free, please just ask. This is the place to get it all answered. And let's face it, on those baking shows and cooking shows, everything is normal. There's nothing for us gluten-free people. And I had to go gluten-free, I think it's about 4 or 5 years ago. No, it must be at least 5 years ago now. And when I tried to bake things, everything went horrifically wrong. I just didn't know how to bake. So hence why, after spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds on different baking books, which most of them were useless, I then went back to all of my old recipes and I tried to recreate them one by one. And I've had some really, really good success with that. And I try and make everything so simple as well, because I don't like complicated baking. I don't like complicated decorating. I do it when required, but when we want a cake, we just want to be able to throw everything in a bowl, and that's what I'm going to be doing in 2 minutes. All right. So first things first, I'm going to show you my go-to recipe that I use all of the time for my Victoria sponges. And then I'm going to be sharing in my cookery book that's out very soon, hopefully in the next 7 days. I'm going to be sharing how I adapt them to do different things. And one of my taste tests are these. So I'm going to go through those. And I did actually make a pretzel cake, a pretzel cookie dough cake. I recreated something using these. That's one of the things on the taste test. So all you need, and this is all you need in gluten-free baking, I'm going to keep it really simple. Before you start, I have done this already. Just wash everything. Okay, and the reason why I say wash everything is it's amazing what gets brought into your kitchen by other people. So all I've got is I weighed the eggs, and 2 eggs came to 4 ounces. All right, so the same weight in eggs is what you need in things like sugar, flour, and margarine or butter. So 2 eggs. I'm just going to crack these, and hopefully you can see what's going in here. Crack them one at a time, just in case Even if you've only just bought them, you never know. They could have been cracked some time ago. The other thing that you can do is if you've got an off egg, you can smell it. So just have a smell. So that's it. 2 eggs, which weigh 4 ounces. I've got 4 ounces of, this is any gluten-free flour. The one I'm using today is Dove's Farm. I just had 4 ounces left, and I've used, again, simple sugar. Just get the granulated sugar. Caster sugar is great as well, but you don't have to use caster sugar. If you haven't got that, if you've got coconut sugar, use that. So that's all you need there. Now, xanthan gum. You can use xanthan gum, or you can use, psyllium husks. Personally, I don't like the taste of psyllium husks, so I don't actually use them. And for 4 ounces of flour, what you need is 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. So that's why I use xanthan gum, because I just don't like the other. Other ways to do it are by using things like yogurt with some apple cider vinegar. And we're going to put in about a teaspoon. We don't have to be overly fussy about vanilla essence, vanilla extract. And something that's really quite important for some people is just a tiny pinch of salt. If you put a tiny bit of salt in, what it does is it enhances the flavors in there, and you don't have to have as much sugar. Okay, so that is, I told you I bake simple. I don't like complex. And all we're going to do now is just mix that up. Oh, nearly forgot the other thing. 2 tablespoons of milk. 1.5 tablespoons of milk for a 4 egg one. So 1.5 tablespoons of milk. What you need to do in gluten-free baking is just make sure that everything's a little bit wetter than normal. I'm not using my mixer because it's what's in your home. So this will take 1 to 2 minutes. That's it. Just mixing it up for you. And a little trick to get all of that off the end, just do a couple of seconds on the side of the bowl, and that's it. You will have most of the mixture off there. So now all we need to do is put it in this is a single 8-inch pan, and I'll show you why we're doing that. So I'm going to put it in there. Non-stick baking paper. So just get a square. I really can't be bothered with buying those bits that you've put in there. So all you're going to do is keep on folding this. So it was a perfect square. Keep on folding. And then just cut. Okay? We're going to cut like that. And then measure how far from the middle it is. So I'm going to cut up there. I'm going to cut up there. I'm going to cut along there. So suddenly you've got this thing like that. Okay? It's got all the little things. Stick that in, and it perfectly fits in there. And it's much cheaper than buying those other ones. So again, it works perfectly every time. And that's all I do. I never buy those things that you put in. What are they? The cake tin liners. And I've said this is a little bit looser than normal, and you need it a little bit looser because of the different flours that you always have in flour blends. They need more moisture. If you're dealing with wheat, you don't need as much moisture. So here you go. All I'm going to do is smooth that out and get that in the oven. The oven's been on for a little while now, and this will take about 20 minutes. So there we go. I did wash my hands, and it is for me. So this is not commercial pitching today. All right. Some people do say about slamming that down. If you want to, you can do, but you can see there, it's in. And that will make you a 2-tier cake. I'll show you how in a little while. So that's in there now. There we go. So that's the little bit of baking done. It's in the oven. And what I've done is I've actually replaced, I made the first one with this. And I thought, I don't quite know. I did say it's a little bit burnt, but really don't worry about that. So here's my cake. And I'm going to cut, this is what I do to make a 2-tier cake. All I do is cut it in half. Like that. So you can see. And then what you do is you put them one on top of each other. And we're going to fill that. Now I'm going to have a little bit of a taste test of that middle bit. Actually, it's okay. No adverse taste at all. And something that you can do if you just want to even things out. I think something to bear in mind with this flour, if you're going to use it, is that it seems to go really, really tough on the outside, on the top and on the edges, but the cake itself is fine. So I put this in for the normal amount of time and it had gone really, really brown on the top and the outside, which I really don't like. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting the top off, if you can see, because I want a nice cake. So is this something I will use again? Yes, I will, because I bought 6 packs of this flour because they were reduced from £6 to £1. So I thought, well, it would be £6 normally. So I've got lots of this that I can use. Feels okay. It's a little bit, I would call it more rubbery in texture, but it'll be okay. And if ever you burn a cake, I'll show you what I do now. And actually, when I'm working with people, if they burn a cake, this isn't the greatest for making cakes, I don't think. All you do is you cut the outside away. All right. And you create what's known in the business, in the industry, as a naked cake. So that's all you have to do. If ever you ruin a cake, just do that. No one will ever know. When people say to me, I've burnt my cake, it's just, do you know what? In the trade, we really don't worry about that at all because the inside is always fine. It's only ever the top and the sides. So you will notice in lots of bakeries that this does happen. All right. So this is purely a taste test. The other one that I've actually made isn't made out of this flour. I made it out of the normal flour, and that's what's gone in at the moment. So I've got all of these. That'll be lovely. Now, how do I decorate a cake? I think I've said before, cream is cream because it's slightly off-white. And I tend to use this cream. It's Longley Farm. It's from Yorkshire. Hey ho, it's from Yorkshire. And I love this because when you actually open this, you know when milk used to have cream at the top? Well, this cream here, whenever you open it, I will try and show you that. Don't know if you can see it, but all of the top is really quite thick. So it just shows that it's a beautiful, beautiful product, and it's a traditional cream. Now, with cream, you've got to be quite careful when you try and whip it because it's really easy to overbeat. A lot of the supermarket stuff that you get is white, and you don't get that thick cream on top. So you can whip and whip and whip, but this will split really easily. So a couple of different options for you. You can either use one of these meat beaters or a balloon whisk or one of these. The choice is yours. But I always feet by hand, because then you can see when it's going to go off. Will take me a little while, so let's have a look. Actually, Robert, shall we have a look and see what people are saying? I'm just conscious. Good morning, everyone.
We might have to wait till you finished whisking.
Okay, let me get this done. You watch, I'm going to have to move it and do it in the other one. I think I'm going to do it in this one with the more of the balloon whisk. Oops, that's going on the floor now. Do you know what? I should have used the big bowl because this is going over the outsides. Right, all of a sudden you start to see it go a bit thicker than normal, and that's what's happening now, and then it will thicken up. I could have done one earlier, but I thought, no, you're going to do it live. Right, so that's gone thick now. You can see that has gone thick. And honestly, the number of times I've tried to do that in a mixer, because it's a natural product, it splits so easy within a couple of seconds. So that's why I always do it that way. Sorry, I've finished now. So how's everyone doing? Sorry, Robert, are you okay to go through chat? This is what happens with mics, etc.
It's a silly question. When they say weigh 2 eggs for other ingredients, do they mean eggs in the shell or eggs without the shell?
Absolutely in the shell. So 2 eggs is normally about 4 ounces. However, the larger the egg, sometimes they will weigh a good nearly 6 ounces. And people do say baking is a science. It is a science, but you don't have to be precise to the gram. So yeah, just weigh it with the shell, and that's what gives you your proper weight.
Okay. Georgie says she loves your electric hand whisk. It's quite powerful. What brand is it?
Do you know what? This is a Sainsbury's one. It was a Sainsbury's home. My friend Jason bought me it for Christmas because my old one had blown up. At my parents', when I was there, I needed something. I went to Morrison's, bought theirs. Brilliant. The one thing you've got to be really careful of with what I will term the cheaper ones is they don't have a slow beat. So that's why you have to do things with hand whisks. When you spend a lot of money on a hand mixer, they go really slow. The low settings are really slow. They're brilliant, but I think I spent about £100 on one, and it lasted about a year and then blew up. So I thought, you know what? I can't be bothered. So I go for the any supermarket brand. They're brilliant.
Okay.
What would you do about supermarkets?
I must have missed something. Georgie says it would be rude not to at that price. But I'm not sure what that means.
Oh yes, this £6 a pack. I used it to make scones with. I substituted it for my scone recipe and it didn't work at all. So I've done it for this, and it's nice. It's quite springy. It's, to be honest, there aren't many recipes. So it's wholemeal cassava, all-purpose flour. It's gluten-free, grain-free alternative. On the back, it does say it's really good for chicken dippers. So I'm going to try something like not mozzarella sticks, halloumi sticks or mozzarella sticks, and see what they're like. But yeah, I think it's used a lot. I don't know what it's like in pastry. Don't quote me on that one, but it's okay. It's a bit springy, but.
Okay, and Brigitte says, because I have to eat wholemeal, I did our pancakes 1/4 plain and 3/4 wholemeal flour. Rod couldn't taste the difference, and I could enjoy my pancakes.
Oh, lovely! That's fabulous. Pancakes are really good. I do have a recipe for pancakes, so I'll have to share that one week as well. But this is my simple cake, and this does so many different ways. So what I've got here is, you know, the flat peaches. Well, this one's going a little bit funny on the outside. So never throw anything away. All I'm doing, let me put that down a minute. All I'm doing is chopping this up into little bits because we're going to put this in the cake, in the filling. Anything like peaches are brilliant with cream because they're not overly sweet. So suddenly you get something that tastes really, really fresh, rather than if we put jam in, there's a really high sugar content there. And I know that, you know, not everybody can have lots of sugar or wants lots of sugar. So this is a really good way to try and cut through some of that sweetness. So I've got a nectarine here that I'm just going to be cutting up. Oops, that's gone on the floor. I'll get that later. But anything that you've got, you know, even grapes, when they're on the way out, if you've got a cake that you're going to make, put some grapes in the middle, cherries in the middle. I just like it when it just tastes so fresh. And certainly at the beginning of the season now, sometimes you'll get some that aren't very sweet, and actually they're really good, really, really good in a cake filling. So I think I've got more than enough there. I'm leaving the skins on because the skins, there's so many of those. When we talk about blueberries being really good for you, part of that is because we're eating the skin as well. So what we don't want to do is start taking skins off when there's so many nutrients in the skin. So I'll show you how you can make a cake in no time. Do you know what? Here's a beautiful little glass plate. I'm going to put that on there. Can you see that okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some cream on, a nice big dollop of cream. You may have guessed that I really love fresh cream rather than buttercream. Some people put icing sugar in fresh cream, but I don't as a rule, because I always think that things can be too sweet. So what I'm going to do is put that there and then just layer up with these in the middle. Now, of course, it does need to be eaten pretty quickly, but when you've only got limited ingredients, you can make this, and this will do a family of 4 easily. And you can bake a cake today and a cake tomorrow and the day after, and just keep on using up whatever fruit you've got. And if you've got no fruit, then just put some jam in or just cream. It's up to you. So anyway, I'm trying to show you this. Like you can see, I put quite a lot in there. Now I'm going to do the top, and because I'm making a naked cake on the bottom, I'm going to cut the outside off. As I said, in the trade, this happens quite often because sometimes they do go quite hard, and this flour I think it's fine on the outside, but inside it probably on the top it goes a little bit crispy. So there. What we're going to do now is put that on. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to put a little bit more cream on. Just so it sticks. So whenever you put cream on, it sticks to what's in there. And because that is so soft, again, just do that up like that to seal it in. That's all you're doing.
Angela, I have a question. Could you have, I completely understand why you need the double layer of cream. Could you have mixed the fruit in the cream before you put it in the cake?
Absolutely.
I didn't know if the fruit would cause the cream to split or something.
No. Once you mix the cream, you can put it in. I was just wanting to show you, and half the time I just do that so that I can see and place it, so everybody gets enough chunks of that. So that is, and whenever you have a balloon whisk, just click it on the side, and then all of that will come off your balloon whisk. So I know there's a lot of cream here, but there is just nothing nicer in my book than having an easy double layer. This is 2 eggs, 4 ounces of margarine, and we'll put a few little bits on top like that. I'm using the little peaches, the little flat peaches to go on the top, just so they're on the outside. And then one for me. So hopefully you can see there is a 2-tier, beautiful fresh cream. It's done really simply. This is rustic. This is done in your own kitchen. You know, if I had the palette knife and everything out, not everybody's got a palette knife, but that will be delicious after any dinner. So last week I did my version of Wimbledon cake. This is just what's in the fruit bowl and cream cake. So hopefully you can see you don't need to make a huge great cake, and that will go in one day if there's 4 of you. Or you can have a nice slice after breakfast, which I will do after the show. So is that all right? Any questions? But simple to do.
It looks lovely.
I'm just going to move this. So that's that one. How are we doing for time, Robert?
You are 28 minutes past 9.
Right, thank you ever so much. Right, all of these little things, I'm going to throw them out for the birds because they will love them. You don't have to throw them out for the birds though. Some people make cake pops out of them. So I don't make cake pops because I find that they're too sweet. I have a sweet tooth, but I'm not a great lover of cake pops. And I think most children nowadays aren't given loads and loads of sugar. So I don't actually make them as a rule now. But you can make them. All you do is use up crozzled old bits of cake, buttercream, mush it all together and stick it on the end of a little, a lolly stick. That's all you do with the cake pop. So they're nothing fancy, so to speak. So should we go on to taste testing? Let me double check. To
taste test, or would you like to do your parcel?
Oh, right, okay. We'll do a parcel. I got this parcel delivered to me, and I don't know who it's from. So there's no address on it. And if you can see here, Angela, please open me on Saturday morning during your gluten-free show. Thank you, kiss, kiss. And I thought, I have no idea who this is from. I really don't. I'm looking for my, oh, no, I can open it. So let's have a quick look. Oh, who has done that? Oh, that is just gorgeous. I don't know who's made this for me, but that is, I am absolutely sloughed. I don't know who it's from. But a huge thank you to whoever's done this for me. This is absolutely beautiful. I don't quite know what to say.
It looks gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful. Can you see that? And if you don't know, we have another web TV show straight after this, which is Goggle Frogs Knit and Natter, where we do all things knit, natter, and crafty. But somebody asked me to do this on my gluten-free show, so thank you so much, whoever you are. It's beautiful. I'm sure I'll find out. There's probably something on my phone now, but that is gorgeous. Thank you. That is going to be treasured. So thank you. I just hope whatever I've been doing is helping you. So thank you very much. That's beautiful.
A comment has come through that says, Angela, speechless. That's a first.
It is. I can speak for England. I can always speak for England. I really can. I'm putting this back in the bag only because you never know what I'm going to do next, and I could end up with something really weird on it. So, I'll have to have a cup of tea now. Thank you so much. I'm sure I'll find out who sent that. Oh, that's really taken me back. So what I was going to say as well, I had something yesterday. I did post the other day. I went into Marks and Spencer's and I saw something, and there were big pork chops with beautiful crumbs on it. Two pepper and lemon crumb pork cutlets. And I thought, yeah, well, I can't have them, can I? And when I looked, it says pork, gluten-free breadcrumbs, rice flour, potato starch, tapioca starch, sunflower oil, dextrose, yeast, sugar. So these are gluten-free, and we had them for dinner last night, and they were absolutely delicious. So they're not cheap, but they are two huge pork chops with this beautiful crumb on the outside. You do them for 2 minutes, either side in a frying pan, and then stick them in the oven for 14 minutes. They were delicious, absolutely gorgeous. So well done to Marx's for that. And that's why I washed it out last night, washed it out really well, and I left it for today. So if you've got anyone coming round who's gluten-free, or if you're cooking and you think, I want to cook something that nobody realises is gluten-free, that's a really good one. And it took me back to schnitzel days. So hopefully someone will do schnitzels that are gluten-free. Or maybe I'll just show you the recipe one day. Who knows? But yeah, so that was that. And then I've had 2 amazing deliveries this morning. Here's the taste test for this week. So Robert, my amazing partner in crime, I suppose, dropped a mic off. So hopefully you're noticing that the audio is a little bit better this week. And he said to me, he dropped these off and these off as well, and said, do you know that Pringles aren't gluten-free? And yeah, they're not gluten-free. A lot of crisps aren't. What I do is I know I've mentioned it before, but just in case you knew, Food Maestro. So it's an app that you download called Food Maestro. And I put that in earlier just to prove that you can save pounds and pounds, because when people go gluten-free, they just go to the free from aisle and they will buy the baking powder that is gluten-free. Whereas Dr. Oetker is also gluten-free. What you do on this app, Food Maestro, just download it. You put in what your allergies are or what your intolerances are, and then you get this little, you probably can't see it, but it's like a little smiley face, a little yellow smiley face if it's free. And when I go through the supermarkets, I think I always get security by me because I'm going like this with my phone. And all you do is you just scan that. It searches for it, and then it will bring you the result of whether you've got a little smiley face. So if you're gluten-free, please, you can save so much money rather than going for the proper one, which I do buy the baking powder Dove's Farm. It's really good, but you can save pounds on lots of other products as well. So these are all gluten-free. Pringles are not gluten-free, but I haven't had breakfast either because I knew I was going to be sampling so much. So I'm going to go through these. They're called Delicios. And the reason why I'm sampling so many things for you is they're really expensive, all of these things. And if I try something, I think that's not really that good. As I've said, that's £6. You know, I will use it up. It's normally £6. I will stick to either Marks and Spencer's, Dove's Farm, Asda's. They're all great brands. I will stick to the normal self-raising flowers and plain flowers. But these are Delicios, and I think they might be like.
I was just about to say they should be like a Malteser, because the reason why you can't have Maltesers is because of the mole.
So, crispier than a Malteser in the middle, and the chocolates. Okay. They're okay. Not the chocolate isn't as good as some chocolate, but I would say if you were putting them in a cake or putting them in muffins, that would be brilliant. I have actually got 2 packs of this, so at some point I'm going to have to eat them. 188 calories per pack. They're okay.
Do you know what else you could do with them? You could crush them up and put them on top of ice cream.
Yeah, you could. And if Maltesers is something that you're really, really missing, then I think they're probably good. But no on Maltesers where you, and I'm just going to try it now, you put them in your mouth, don't you? Take the chocolate off and then they start to disintegrate. And that doesn't happen. But they're fine. They're absolutely fine. So now on to the second one, which is these. So these are Tempties. And I have tried these before, but I don't think I've actually shown them before. So you get 3 in a pack. So these are not cheap. There's 3 in a pack, but I actually think the combination of everything in these sort of works a little bit better. And do I want to bother cutting? I will try.
Before you cut it.
All right, sorry, okay. I've got another.
We've had a comment that says that they don't look very big. So I was just going to ask you to do a close up so we could see.
I will. I'll do a close up for the other. They're not very big. And sometimes something we have to sometimes weigh up. Like I've shown you a cake that you can do for pennies. In terms of some of the ingredients. Okay, you've got to have some cream. I've advised you about some old fruit that's about to go off at the end of its days. But sometimes when we're out, we just need to treat ourselves. So that's as big as they are. I'd say it's Ferrero Rocher size. I think they're about 50-60 pence per item. But inside.
Oh, that is like a Ferrero Rocher.
Ferrero. Yeah. And we can't have Ferrero Rocher, can we? And it's not even a sweet I particularly like. But when I sampled these last time, they were actually really good. I'm just going to have a swig of tea. Mm. Mm. They're good. There's like a chocolate. It's not like a fondant. What is it in the middle? Let me see if they explain it. It's gluten and wheat-free chocolate-covered praline with hazelnut, specifically developed for people who are allergic to gluten. They are so much nicer than Ferrero Rocher. There is not the sugar hit with them. You can taste the chocolate. You can taste that. What do they call it? Praline. They are really good. So if I was going to be buying something like that, or just 3 of these, I would have just the 3 of these. Honestly, and I'm going to eat that other bit. So they're really good. Any questions about them?
No.
No, that's fine. So they are really good. I wouldn't get the delicious. And it's just knowing how to spend your pounds. If Ferrero Rocher is something that you really like, they are amazing. They're really good, but they are not cheap. Our whole gluten-free world is not cheap, and not necessarily nice. Now we'll do those last, but these pretzels, again, pretzels are something that we can't have, can we? But these, like the decent sized ones, they're great. They're really crispy. And it is on there as well that they're lactose free as well. For people who are lactose free. The one thing that I would say, just pay attention to, is it does say palm oil is used in here, and it doesn't say certified palm oil. So I don't know where this is coming from. Let me check the other ones. I haven't seen palm oil in the others. No. But on these, there is palm oil. So I may have to do an email to Shah and double check with them. Are you getting rid of some of our forests as a result of that? So I will check with them. But they're really good, and they make an amazing addition to a lovely big cake. And I will. That's going to be my recipe book. It's quite a big cake. I got the recipe, and it was 3 tiers. We call them the big boys. The big boy cakes are about this big. And I had those inside. I had cookie dough inside. I had ganache. I had all sorts in there, nuts. And what I realised was the recipe I'd followed, I didn't actually like the cookie dough. So it's much better with ganache, with these, with I did like a nuggetine in there as well. But that was delicious. And I used a whole one of those and put them all over the top. You can just do some little butterfly buns and stick those on top. They're just so different. And for people who can't have gluten, we can't eat things like that. So I am now wondering how on earth I open this. Oh, I pulled that first of all. So this is for all us people who can't have Pringles. Oh, I tell you what, look at this. I can see salt around the edges. So that's brilliant. There's quite a lot of salt. So I'm just going to have a little bit of a taste, a palate cleanse with tea. They're incredible. Really good. Second burnt cake of the day because I'm sampling Shah products. In fact, it's not burnt. It's just a little bit darker than I would normally have. So there's my normal. Right. So these are delicious. I've looked at them. I've never bothered with them, and they are mine. All mine. So I would say absolutely a hit. So out of everything, these 2 absolutely get the top marks. These are really good as well, but not quite as good as either of these. And those I probably won't use again. I will just use them up in baking. But Shah is great company. They are really trying to help people when we're on the move. They're trying to give us products as well. The bread is really good. Robert, you use their ciabatta rolls, or was it? No, it was the ciabatta loaves. What was your? How did you actually bake them?
When I do this now for any bake-off bread that I do, I take it out of the packet and it says brush with water, and all I do is clean my hands, run my hands under a cold water tap, and then brush my hand over the bread, because I find that if I use a pastry brush, it gets soggy in places and it doesn't quite come out right. So just by using my damp hand across the top of the bread, that's what does it.
Yeah, and they were absolutely delicious. They do small loaves of bread that are in a packet, and they're very, very small pieces, but the bread tastes nice. It's a bit, it's not like normal bread, but it's got a good taste to it. It doesn't crumble to bits. So that's really good. I wouldn't say that everything is great. I wasn't a fan of their pizza bases, but if I do use pizza bases, I'm sure I will double check. I'd like to say it was Isabel's that I used, but with Isabel's, you've got to make them by hand. So it's packet mix, make them by hand, and they come out really quite good. If you try and do them in a mixer, oh my God, they come out terribly. But I'll double check what pizza base it was. But they are really, really, really doing well in the world of gluten-free. So well done to them.
We've got something in the chat for you. Just a food for thought, I think, for a future program. Dorothy says, for lovely gluten-free treats, I've got my mum a box of treats from Lazy Daisy Foods in Scotland. They're amazing. You need to sample them.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Can you make a note of that? Lazy
Day Foods.
Oh, Lazy Day Foods. Why does that? No, it's Lazy Day. I'm sure I've tried something from there and I can't remember. So I will be going on their website this morning and ordering something. So we will do that in next week's. So thank you. And any products you've got that you love, let us know. What I'm trying to do is save people spending on something like that when that looks more expensive, but that just tastes more decadent. So, but anything out there, please do let us know, and we'll feature that on a future show. It could be a live taste test, or it could be something that I'm recommending.
Tracy is asking where we got all the products from this morning. So the curvies and the pretzels, I brought them from Sainsbury's.
Yep. And I got these from Morrison's. And just to let you know as well, because this is live, hang on a minute, I featured this in the first week.
And the other thing I should say as well, Tracy, is I got the gluten-free ciabattas from Tesco's.
Yeah, they're in most places. That was one I featured in the first week. They're Kirsty's Luxury Apple Pies. I know, Tracy, you asked about these last week, where to get them. I did find them in Asda's and Morrison's. I don't know about the local Morrison's, and they were two for £2.50 in the Morrison's up north when I got them up there before I came back down. I've given them to my mum, and I've even given them to the harshest critic in the world when it comes to gluten-free, my husband, who had them one night. And then I said, do you want a piece the following night? And he said, oh, yes, they are that good. And they are made in Germany. So in Germany, I think they know how to make apple strudel, apple pies. So absolutely delicious apple taste. And you cook these straight from the freezer. So that was that.
We're at 10:02.
Oh, right. Okay. Just one thing to say. Last week, I featured, it was just roll puff pastry, wasn't it? And I said that I wasn't a fan because there wasn't really much lamination in there. Now, Tracy did actually stop by my house. She doesn't live very far away. And she took some home and she loved them. So for me, I've never been able to find a proper flaky pastry since I've gone gluten-free. I will try more recipes now I've got more flour, etc. But what I would suggest is whenever you make the sausage rolls, just use some onions that you've already caramelized and mix those cold onions with your sausage meat. Most of the supermarkets now, whether it's Marks's, whether it's Tesco's, whether it's Aldi, when you look on the packet, they are gluten-free now. A lot of them, not all, but in most stores you can get gluten-free sausages now. Just buy the sausages, cut them open, put them in a bowl. If you don't have access to normal sausage meat, or if that's not certified as gluten-free, add some onions to them, and it gives it an amazing flavour because, as I said, they tend to use rice flour, and rice flour can go a little bit hard in sausage meat when you heat it up. So the onion just seems to really make it pop. So yeah, that was from last week. So let's just double check. So the taste test has gone okay. We've opened my Prezi, we've decorated a cake, which we'll be eating soon. Oh, mentioned about Vimto as well last week, not being gluten-free. The purple one isn't, the original one isn't, but that one is. So all the remix ones are fine, the sparkling ones are fine. But if you are gluten-free, stay off Vimto. I think that's about it. Other than, Tracy, you asked me about gravy last week. So this is what I use. It's gluten-free, it's fine. I've done it on the Zapper. So Food Maestro says it's fine. And all that's in here is salt, corn flour and caramel. And I've actually, by next weekend, I will have the perfect gluten-free Sunday dinner recipe book going live. And there's going to be a huge discount on that as well. And you will get access to videos. And I'm going to go through how I make gravy, how I make Yorkshire puddings, how I make, what is it now? Cauliflower cheese, the whole works. So for anyone who struggles, I'm going to be going through that. But that is my go-to product every time I make gravy. So if you want that, then I will show you how to make the gravy on next week's show and just get some of that. So that's what you need. And I know, Tracy, you asked last time, didn't you, about gravy? Most of the stock cubes are okay, but they taste of stock. They don't taste of gravy. And most of the gravy cubes have got gluten in them. So it's one of those challenges that we end up with really, really liquidy, rather tasteless gravy. So I'm going to go through how to make that as well. So yeah, so any more questions?
Tracy saying thank you for that, for the gravy. But no, there's no more questions in the chat.
Oh, well, I hope that was useful to you, and it's lovely talking about all things gluten-free. I love it. As you can tell, I could talk for England for hours, but we do an hour show. So I will be here again next Saturday. And if there's anything, really thank you ever so much for Lazy Day Foods. I'm going to be putting in an order to them. As I don't recommend anything that I haven't eaten or used myself. And that's what I'm really quite passionate about, that I won't be paid by companies to endorse their products unless it's something that I absolutely love, and then I'll tell you happily. But yeah, so all of these were live today. And please, if you like Pringles, go and get those because they're great. And I think that they may be used later tonight with a nice little drink. So I don't know what your plans are this weekend, but I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you ever so much for joining us. And I will see you again next week at Saturday at 9 a.m. You take care. Thank you ever so much. And thank you, Robert, as well.
See you next week.
You're an absolute star. See you next week. Bye.